Can you be a mother and an artist? And how can you be a mother and an artist when being a mother is about being deep in the trenches and taking care of the dailiness and being in that sort of ongoing mediocrity of dishes and diapers and mommy, 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 mommy from the back seat? How can you be truly in your creative self when you are inundated by the demands of mothering? Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Sam from thesamanthawild.com. Don't forget, give a thumbs up and subscribe. Really seeking that 1,000. Can't wait till I get there. I'm so happy you're here. Mwah! To new and old subscribers, welcome. This is a very special episode, not just because I'm not in my studio. You may notice I'm not in my studio. I am actually in my kitchen. And I'm in my kitchen because I have been doing lots of work in the kitchen, which has to happen sometimes because my studio is not in our house. It is in a separate building on our little farm here. And so I have been doing some felting and some weaving over there and other projects. And sometimes I just have to work in the house. And that's just how it goes. And as many of you know, I am the mother of 6 kids. And I'm not just any old mother. I'm a mother whose oldest kid is 19 and whose youngest kid is 2. It's kind of like being stretched like a Gumby. So I have had a lot of experience being a mother over a very long period of time. And I'm also continuously mentoring people around their creativity. I'm not just a visual artist, having woven a lot of pieces, including this lovely one. Thank you everyone who gave comments about this piece called Autumn Blessings. I so appreciate it. It's available, but not yet in the shop. So send me an email, sam@thesamanthawild.com if you want to see that. And while you're here, drop me a comment and tell me in the comments what you struggle with most as a mother in terms of being a mother and a creator and an artist. Now, some people know that in addition to being a weaver, I am also a writer. My first novel came out many years ago, This Little Mommy Stayed Home. My second one soon after, I'll Take What She Has. I have a third book called Strange Gifts, which you can get in the shop. And this is a lovely little spiritual book. These are chick lit, they call it mommy lit, hen lit, women's fiction, funny books. I wrote the first one when my first kiddo was napping, an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. Let me show you some of my weaving now. So this is a piece called The Gray Lady, and I actually wove the tapestry. Can you see this? I wove the tapestry about a year ago, but then the Gray Lady just came into being. She just emerged. I absolutely am now in love with this piece and her coming out of that spiral. I hope you can see it. Never as good on video as it is, especially with fiber art in person. So here's the thing. Can we really both be mothers and artists? Part of this episode is inspired by this book I've been reading called The Mother Artist. This is Portraits of Ambition, Limitation, and Creativity by Catherine Ricketts. It's a very interesting book, and she's asking those same questions. Can you actually be a mother and an artist at the same time? Well, let's put that all to rest. And of course you can be a mother and an artist at the same time. But there's a lot of garbage in the way, a lot of myths in the way, a lot of things that we have to get out of our way so that we can really get juicy inside of our creativity and understand that mothering infuses our creativity and artistry with new angles, new avenues, new perspectives, new possibilities. And in the opposite direction, our artistry and our creativity help support our mothering. I find I have to talk so fast for these YouTube videos because I know that it's hard to get people's attention and keep people's attention, but it's also really hard to talk so fast for such a long time. Okay, so let's go through the myths. Myth number 1, I don't have time. If I'm mothering, I don't have time for my artist work and my creative work. Absolutely not true. As I told you, I wrote this first book, an hour in the morning, hour in the afternoon while the baby was napping. This doesn't work for everybody. I could totally appreciate that. But for a lot of us, we have this sense that we need like 6 weeks or 1 month or a retreat. I remember one person once said to me, okay, I'm finally ready. I've cleared my schedule. I'm going to take a whole year off to write a novel. Okay. You know, some people can and some people will. But honestly, I didn't have a year to write a novel. I wrote my novel in a very short period of time. That's because for me, mothering has been an incentive to not procrastinate and to be more efficient in my creative work. So while you might be somebody who does need a little bit more time, I think we can slowly erode that myth and realize, you know what? We can do a lot. We can do a lot. Affirm that for yourself. I can do a lot in my creative work in a short period of time. For my Substack, I wrote about Grandma Moses, and that Substack is at thesamanthawild.com. You might already know about her, but she started painting at 78. Actually, she was a fiber artist before she became a painter, and she did fiber embroidery, painting with yarn, basically. And then she got arthritis, and her friend suggested maybe she would paint instead. So at 78, she became famous. She went on to paint 1,500 things, paintings, not things, in the next 20 years, which is remarkable. But equally remarkable is the fact that she was the mother of 10. She had 10 children. Only 5 of them lived past infancy, but that doesn't matter. As we all know, anyone who's at a loss, she had 10 children. Think about the effort, the energy that went into that in her body, in her mind, and her heart. It's amazing. By the time she was painting at 78, she was the grandmother of 11. But the thing that's most important to me is for each of us to recognize that mothering is inherently creative. It is a naturally creative activity. Like, how creative do you have to be to get your screaming, raging toddler in their car seat while they're flailing around? And the other thing is, of course, motherhood changes us. I mean, it's changed me, and then it's changed me, and then it's changed me again. But there's nothing wrong with being changed. And of course, motherhood drains us. Sometimes I don't even know the next word that's going to come out of my mouth. But that's not where we access our creative self. I mean, that's the important thing. It's like, yes, I can drop a sentence. I can forget what day the dentist is. And I can have a really messy kitchen table. But our creativity draws from a different well. So when we think my life is too mundane or too small or too mediocre or too redundant or too boring to be able to really feed me creatively and artistically, it simply isn't true. We just have to learn. We have to learn to draw from a different well for our creative work. Now, for me, in my postpartum periods, I am so creative, and I understand this is not everybody. But of course, I wrote my first novel in a postpartum period. I wrote my second novel during a postpartum period. This one, I had no childcare. This one, I had like maybe 3 or 4 hours of paid childcare a week. And in all my preceding ones, there's like just an absolutely a huge wave. And it starts to wane about this time. My youngest being 2, I start to kind of recede from this incredible period of productivity. Why does that happen for me? I'm not sure, but I think it does tap into a truth. I mean, creating a baby, being in mothering, whether we're adopting or growing that baby in our womb, is inherently creative. I mean, maybe the most creative thing anybody could ever possibly do. And so for me, it's like the momentum of a car. Once the baby is born, my creativity keeps going. It's going very, very fast. So I do a lot of creating in the postpartum period. Is that weird? I don't know. I don't want to judge myself about it. What do you think? Do you know anybody who's been really creative in their postpartum? Have you been really creative? I don't want to hold that up as the standard because I don't think it is, but I would like to hold it up as a possibility of how creativity can be part of us in our mothering, how it is part of us. It's just one way to notice and pay attention to the fact that it's already there. So I'm going to make some more videos about this because I think it's really rich and really important and really interesting to think about the how-tos. How do we get to that place? How do we access more of our creativity as mothers? How do we handle motherhood when we're also trying to really be producing creatively? But the baseline for all of us all the time is like, of course we can. Of course we can. And whatever's in the way is sort of a myth, or it's a mountain that we can climb. You really can climb it. You really can climb it. And being in our creativity, when we're rightly in that, connected to our intuition and that wellspring of creativity, should be feeding us, not draining us. I mean, I get it. Children can be draining and it can be exhausting. Lord, I have been so exhausted. But our creativity is meant to feed us and sustain us. So actually, mothering and creativity and artistry work perfectly together. Mothering is that output, that outgoing, constantly giving. But our creativity and artistry feeds us. It feeds our soul. It supports us. You know, I think about this tapestry. I made it, the original piece, more than a year ago, and only recently did this gray lady emerge from it. And that's the thing also, is we can have patience with ourselves while we're emerging out of the tapestry of our lives. So maybe it will happen. It doesn't necessarily happen at day 1 or day 2 or day 10 of your mothering, but all that you've done in your mothering, you really can use for your creative and artistic work. And I guess that's the main thing that I want to say today. In the meantime, thank you so much for being here. Please don't forget to thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I so want to get to 1,000 subscribers. Oh, it would be a real joy. And go to thesamanthawild.com so you can see the kind of things that I produce, the weaving and the writing and my mentorship. And until next time, hopefully every Friday, but life gets so busy here. I really hope that you have a wonderful, creative, and joyful day.